Hello students, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to do workbook pages 64 to 66. This one's from week 31 if you're using the emailed materials. Alright, and also I'm going to do page 67. Right, that one is listening, but that one is from another week. Right, so 64 until 67. So in this slide is up to page 66. I will switch to the other slides once we're done with this one. Right, so if you are using emailed materials, week 31, if not, just turn to page 64 in your workbook. Right, let's have a look at what we're going to do first. Alright, this is page 64, vocabulary as usual. We start with vocabulary. Okay, the one here, it's a little small. Okay, somehow it's very small in here. So you might need to have a look at your handouts while you're doing this. Obviously, this is undersized. Okay, in your book, it fills up the whole page, right? The whole width of the page. Okay. Next part of page 64 is this one here. Grammar, right? You need to write your own answer. Okay, so grammar looks like this. Alright. Next one, page 65. Continuation of grammar. There's activities 3 and 4. You need to write the sentences, and then after that find the mistakes in the passage and correct them. Alright, next part of the other half of page 65 looks like this. Large numbers. And then moving on to page 66 is reading. So it looks like this. Some differences between China and Japan. Okay, and then the questions are, if they are on the same page in your book or handout. Okay, so it's only my slides that shows this here, and it's a bit small. Okay, hopefully you can read this. Don't worry, during the lesson I will also read these questions out so you can listen and also read it in your handout. Okay, so this is for week 31, pages 64 to 66. Okay, and then page 67 is from week 32. You're using the email materials. Page 67 only has listening. Okay, so here, prepare for the exam listening part 4. Right, so I'm going to do this one as well together in this whole video. Right, and I'm going to discuss the answers as well. Right, so when I upload this video up to YouTube, you will also have the script for the listening part. Okay, so you know what's going on and where to find the answers for these questions. Okay, alright, so if we're ready, let's go to the first page of our work. The first page of what we need to do for Unit 16. Okay, Unit 16, Languages of the World. This is vocabulary, words to describe language learning. Okay, so first one, what is the topic of Unit 16? Right, so we know the topic is given here, the title is here. Okay, so the answer is C, alright, learning languages. Alright, the topic is languages of the world, and then how do people learn languages all around the world. Okay, you will find that most people learn it the same way. Number 2, which words on this page are difficult to spell? Right. So spell, how to spell? So spell should be the answer here. Number 2, F. Okay, exercise and vocabulary. So for learners, long words with many letters, they tend to be a bit harder to spell. Okay, what is the meaning of mistake? Let's find one word here in the answer options here that has the same meaning with mistake. Alright, so D, something that is not correct. Right? You can use words like error as well. Okay. Number 4, can you translate guess into Spanish, please? Alright, so find one word here that is foreign looking, it's not in English. That would be G, adivinar. Alright. Next one, where do you find lots of articles? Alright, articles for you to read. That would be, okay, A, on a news website. Number 6, when do you make a list? Alright, so list, you write down number 1 until 10 things you need to do or buy. Alright. Okay, so you get H, before going shopping. Right, we can use a list also for many other purposes. Okay, a list of names, a list of numbers, right? A list of things you want to keep track of, a list of things you like or don't dislike, right? Number 7, where do you look up dictionaries? Words you don't know. Look up, always go with the word dictionary. So look up means you search for the word and find the meaning. So B, in a dictionary. Number 8, how many exercises are there on this page? Right, answer is E, 4. So if you look at that, there's part 1 and 2 for vocabulary and part 1 and 2 for grammar. So there are 4 exercises. Number 2, okay, activity 2, read the web page about learning languages and complete the text with the words in the box. Right, so you have words like articles, exercises, guess, list, look it up, mistakes, spell, topics, and translate. Right? Okay, so and then if you look at the words there, tips for learning languages, these are all different words for hello in different languages. Right? Okay, let's look at the first one here. We'd like to give you some tips for learning languages. Learning a language is one of the most useful things you can do with your free time. It's hard work, but it's also a lot of fun. These are some things you can do to help improve your level in the languages you are studying. Okay, first one is read as many books and magazines or news. Okay, so news are always in articles, right? News articles as possible. Number 2, listen as often as you can to the radio, to songs, and to people talking about lots of different, number 2, topics. So your pronunciation and vocabulary improve, right? That's true for, especially if you need to learn lots of new words in another language. So you start out with the basic ones like greetings, okay, what are names of food, what are names of things around you like books and tables and chairs. Alright, next one, don't worry about making, alright, number 3, mistakes. Right, so when we are learning, we always make mistakes. That's normal part of learning. After making the mistake, make sure you correct it and learn from it. Next one, do grammar and vocabulary. Number 4, exercises, online or in workbooks. So if you have a language workbook, do exercises to get used to the grammar, how the language is being used in that form. Next one, learn how to, right, number 5, spell words correctly. Okay, it's important, right? In any language, you can't miss out one letter or one stroke, for example. If you learn writing like Chinese or Korean, you cannot miss out one stroke even. Okay, next one. Number 6, make a list of new vocabulary and then play games with the words to help you learn them. Okay, so example, if you have a dictionary, the pictured dictionaries usually is grouped by topic, so you can use that to write down new vocabulary. For example, names of vegetables, names of fruits, names of animals, right? Next one, number 7, 8, and 9. When you read or hear a word you don't know, try to guess. Okay, number 7, guess its meaning. You can then, number 8, look it up in a dictionary. Right, number 9. But remember that it is sometimes not possible to translate a word from one language to another exactly. Let's move on to the next part, which is grammar, present perfect, and past simple. Right, so just a quick recap. Present perfect is for things that started in the past and then are still true in the present. Alright, and for past simple, it is done right in the past and it remains completed and it doesn't change. Okay, so that's the difference between these two. Right, so here let's try number 1. It should be, have you ever studied Arabic? So it's just asking, is this true about you right now? Right, have you started on it? Okay, so, and also you cannot use the word studied here. If you use the word did, you should say, did you study Arabic? Okay, so did is wrong. The correct one is have. Number 2, okay, here, you do any tests in school last week? Alright, so one thing is test, and also the time is given last week. So we need to use past simple. Okay, once you've done the test, it remains completed. So, did you do any tests in school last week? Number 3, again here, anyone in your family learned to speak 4 languages? Okay, so especially when we talk about languages, we tend to use either simple present or present perfect, right? In this case, it is asking about whether anyone has learned. So number 3 is has anyone. Number 4, alright, this one is to ask the starting point in the past when you started studying English, alright? So number 4 should be, when did you first study English? Number 5, here, how long? There is a duration of time here. So you can't use did. Did is for completed, it's done. It should be have. How long have you been an English student? Alright. Okay, and then number 2 here, activity 2. This one here is you need to answer it using your own words, okay? That is true about you. Okay, so for example, have you ever studied Arabic? If you say yes, you say yes, I have. Alright, if it's no, then you write no, I haven't. Okay, and so on and so forth. Alright. Okay, this part I won't answer it for you because this one is supposed to be your own true answer. Alright. But I will put up a sample sentence for you in the video description. Let's move on to page 65. Next one. Write sentences in the present perfect or past simple. Alright, so a very easy way to know when you need to use past simple is when the sentences contain a time expression in the past. And you see the type of thing that is done there. Is it something that is completed or is it still going on until the present? Alright, so here, first one, she's worked in New Zealand and South Africa. Right, this one here, it didn't say when did she work. Did she complete her work? Has she moved away? No, it did not say. So we need to use present perfect. That means we assume that either she's still working there or we're just talking about her experience, okay? So she has experience working in New Zealand and South Africa. The answer comes out to be she's worked or she has worked in New Zealand and South Africa. Okay, number one here, talking about your experience. But this one here says never, that means you've not experienced it before. The answer should be, I've never met anyone from the USA. Right? Number two, so you have we go to Cyprus last year. Alright, there is a time expression here, last year, and it's done already. You went, okay, go change to went. Okay, so you went on a trip, went to this place, had a good time, and then you came back. So it becomes we went to Cyprus last year. Alright, number three, again, you see there's a time expression here, 2 years ago. That means it has passed, it's completed. It's not doing this anymore now. Right, so number three should be he studied Chinese and Arabic 2 years ago. Number four, okay, she and then watch great cricket match on Saturday. Right, so we are assuming this Saturday has passed already, right? Because it's given here on Saturday. So the answer is she watched a great cricket match on Saturday. Alright, number five is a bit different. You have the phrase since 2009. Remember in the previous unit, we used present perfect with phrases like this, since and for. So because this is since, right, and it's still true until now, you're talking about starting from 2009 until now whenever this is spoken. So we need to use the present perfect. He hasn't won any chess competitions since 2009. Right, number six. We not see my grandparents last month. Okay, again, there's a time given here, last month. So the answer is we didn't see my grandparents last month. And then the last sentence, I never eat Mexican food. Right, so talking about your experience is a bit like the first sentence, sentence number one, I've never met anyone from the USA. So this one should be, I've never eaten Mexican food. Right, so that's talking about your experience. Alright, next one, exercise 4. Yes, you one thing you might need to pause at this point if you need to correct your answers or write them down. Okay, next one. Exercise 4. There are 7 mistakes in this passage here. With the present perfect and past simple. We need to underline them and label them 1 to 7, okay, because we're going to correct them. You have a space at the bottom here. Okay, so underline 7 mistakes and then put the correct answer to replace those mistakes. First one. Hi David, it's been ages since I haven't heard from you. I'm in London now. I'm studying at the Camden School of English. I met lots of people from all over the world here. The teacher is good and textbook she gave us at the beginning of the course is very interesting. We learn a lot of things from it since then. Every day after class we go into the center of London. I've already done lots of things. I've to the British Museum, it was great. I've went shopping in a market yesterday and bought some clothes. I've bought 3 t-shirts in the market because they were very cheap and they look really nice. They have only cost me £20. Right, I must go now. I've got to study for an English test tomorrow. It's on the present perfect. Love, Danuta. Okay, so if you see there are some mistakes there already, let's have a look which parts we need to underline. Right, so number 1, it should be this one. Right, number 1 is haven't. Number 2, met. Number 3, learn. Number 4, I've the British Museum. Okay, there's a missing word there. Number 5, I've went shopping. Number 6, I've bought. And number 7, have only cost. Okay, so let's have a look one by one. Why are they wrong? here, number one, I haven't heard from you. Okay, so you see there's a phrase, it's been ages since. That means there was the last time you heard from this person, and then after that for a long time you did not communicate with this person. Okay, so you cannot use the word haven't here. It should be, it's been ages since I've heard from you. Okay, so it's been a long time since the last time I met you or talked to you or sent you a message, sent you an email. Okay, so it means you have been communicating and then you stopped for a while, so you cannot use haven't. Right, number two, I met lots of people from all over the world here. Okay, so the problem with this is she is still in the course, she is still studying, she's still meeting them every day. So this is not supposed to be in a simple tense, past simple, sorry. Okay, this action is not completed yet. All right, and then it's still true to the present, right? I've met lots of people around the world. Right, next one, number three. All right, again, it's the problem with the word since. Okay, we need to use the correct tense if we see the word since here. Okay, since when, and then up to the present, you need to use present perfect. So I've learned a lot of things from it. Number four, there's a missing word here. The British Museum is a place. So if you go there, right, you have experience visiting it, you need to say, I've been to the British Museum. Okay, it was great. And then number five, all right, there's a word yesterday in this sentence. So you cannot use I've went shopping yesterday. You should use I went shopping yesterday. Just simple past tense. Okay. Number six. Okay, it's still yesterday. It's still talking about the same event. So you cannot use I've bought. Just use I bought 3 t-shirts. Alright. And then also number 7 is still talking about the same event, which is going to the market and buying things. Okay, I mean, she went to the market and bought something. So they cost me 20 pounds. Alright, so let's look at the correction again. Alright, it's been ages since I have heard from you. Number 2, I've met lots of people from all over the world. Number 3, I've learned a lot of things from it since then. Number 4, I've been to the British Museum. You can also use I've visited, right? I visited the British Museum. Number 5, okay, because of the word yesterday, this is a completed action. It happened already and it's done. So you need to use simple past tense. I went shopping in a market yesterday. Number 6, I bought 3 t-shirts. Number 7, they only cost me 20 pounds. Alright, so all this here. Okay, you might need to pause to write down your answers or make corrections. Alright, so if you're done, let's move on to the next one, still on page 65, but now on vocabulary, large numbers. So during the class, I told you how to write down large numbers in word form like here. Sometimes we can just round them off. Okay, round them off to the nearest number. So instead of saying the exact figure, we can just say 2 billion, for example. If it's very near to 2 billion. And you put words like about 2 billion, okay, more than 1,000, and so on. Alright, okay, let's look at this one here. 2 billion, alright, which one is it? Which figure is it? Okay, so number 1 is matched with C. So 2 billion has 10 digits, right? There are 9 zeros here and 1 in front here, which is the 2. Okay. Number 2, you have 20,800 and 20. Okay, so 20,000, that will be 20 and then 3 zeros at the back. So the answer is number 2D, 20,820. Right, number 3, 200 million. So 1 million has 7 digits. 200 million here has, right, 1 here, 6, 7 digits also here. Okay, so 7 digits. Answer is A. Number 4, 225. Okay, so answer is B for number 4. Alright, here, answer the questions with words. Go online to find the answers. Okay, so this one, okay, it's not given here. We're supposed to go online and find this, right? So, whatever answers we do in class here, you should use those answers, okay? Alright, so here, how many people live in your country? How many people in the world speak your first language? And how many languages are there in your country? Alright, so we're going to find this one out in class. Next one, we do this one first. One world, many languages. Read the text and answer the questions. Write numbers for your answer. Okay, so in the text here, because it's a formal text, it's an article, factual one, we tend to write the figures in word form here like this here, 7 billion. Okay, unless it's a very long word, then we use a figure instead, a number instead. Okay, one world, many languages. There are about 7 billion people in the world today, and there are about 7,100 languages. But about 4 billion people speak just 23 of these languages as their first language. More than 50 million people speak one of these languages. Right, so you can guess who or what it is already. Okay, example here. How many people live in the world today? So the answer here is 7 billion. You need to write 7 billion using a number form. So it's 7 followed by 9 zeros at the back. Number 1, how many languages are there in the world today? So answer is given here, 7,100. So it should look like this, 7,100. Number 2, alright, how many people speak just 23 of these languages? About 4 billion. Okay, so here, 4 and then 9 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, next one. How many people speak each of the 23 languages? Are over 50 million people. So 50 million looks like this. Alright, next one. Page 66 is on reading. Alright, read the article, then choose the paragraphs where you find the information 1 to 4. Alright, so let's have a look at the information that we're supposed to scan for. First one, the number of people living in China and Japan. Then you circle which paragraph, okay? They are numbered here. Paragraphs 1, 2, or 3. The first languages of China and Japan, okay, here. Number 3, the size of China and Japan. And number 4, the world's 4 largest countries. Let's read through. Paragraph 1. China is a very large country in East Asia with grasslands, deserts, mountains, lakes, rivers, and more than 14,000 kilometers of coast. China covers an area of 9,388,088 388,211 square kilometers. Only Russia, Canada, and the USA are larger. China has about 300 languages that people in different parts of the country speak as a first language. About 848 million Chinese people speak Mandarin, more than any of the other Chinese languages. This is also a lot more than the total number of people who speak both English and Spanish as a first language. More people speak Mandarin in China's cities than in the countryside. Okay, paragraph 2. Japan is also in East Asia. It is a group of 6,852 islands, some very large and some very small. Tokyo, the capital, is on the island of Honshu. The area that Japan covers is much smaller than China. 62 other countries in the world are larger than Japan, including Norway, Mali, and Mexico. It has 364,555 square kilometers of land. Most people in Japan speak Japanese as their first language. It has 6 or 7 other languages, but very few people speak these. Paragraph 3. 1,409,517,397 people live in China, and 127,484,450 people live in Japan. This means that for every square kilometer in China, there are 150 people. But in Japan, there are 350 people for every square kilometer. There are only 9 countries in the world with more people than Japan, including China. China has more people living in it than any other country. Okay, so, right, we know which information belongs to which paragraph. Okay, so first one here, number of people living in China is in paragraph 3. All right. Okay, let me just circle this. It's easier for you to see. Right, so paragraph 3. All right, the first languages of China and Japan, if you look in the passage, paragraph 2 talks about the languages, right? And also paragraph 1. Okay, paragraph 1 is talking about China, paragraph 2 talking about Japan. So 1 and 2. The size of China and Japan. So you hear words like how many square kilometers, right? How many people living there. So also 1 and 2. And then the world's 4 largest countries, okay, is mentioned in paragraph 1. Okay, so if you look back in paragraph 1, here, Russia, Canada, and the USA, okay, compared with China. When they say largest countries here, they refer to the population. How many people living in that country? Okay, so now we have gone through the text and we found the information. Let's answer the questions. Still on page 66, read the text again and match the sentence halves. So first one, 14,000 kilometers is the length of, okay, G, Chinese coast. Okay, means where the part of the country faces the sea. Okay, the land touches the sea, that's what you call the coast. So the length of the coast in China is about 14,000 kilometers. Number 2, China is smaller than C, 3 other countries. Okay, mentioned in the text that Russia, Canada, and USA. Number 3, most Chinese speakers' first language is A, Mandarin. Number 4, there are 6,852. Answer is F, islands in Japan. Number 5, Japan is the 63rd So number 5 is E, largest country in the world. And then number 6, there are 350. So number 6 is matched with D, people for every square kilometer in Japan. Okay, so this is averaged out. Okay. Number 7, Japanese is the first language of B, nearly all Japanese people. Alright, so we're done with page 66. Now you should turn your books to page 67, or if you are using the email materials, you should go to week 31 now. Okay, now we move on to week 32, page 67. That will be listening and writing. Okay, so this one here, this listening part here is according to the exam format. Prepare for the exam listening part 4. So you need to choose the correct answer for every question here. First one here, you will hear a girl called Lucy talking to her mom. What are they discussing? Okay, and then when Lucy will eat this evening, how Lucy will get to basketball practice, if Lucy's mom can work late. So you need to pick an answer that is the most accurate according to what Lucy and her mom has been talking about, according to the outcome of their conversation. Number 2, you will hear a girl called Sam talking to her friend about playing musical instruments. Why does she prefer the piano to the guitar? So A, she plays a variety of music on the piano. B, too many other people play the guitar. C, the guitar is more difficult. Right? So you need to pick out the ones that she say, which one is true. Number 3, you will hear a girl talking about her Chinese homework. What is she explaining? A, she needs the most time to do the listening exercise. B, she enjoys doing the writing exercises. C, she only has done the reading exercise today. Number 4, you will hear a boy talking about his English lesson today. What does he say about it? So what is his opinion, or what did he do? Okay. A, he used his dictionary a lot. B, his teacher could not help him. C, the work he had to do was hard. Number 5, you will hear a girl called Sophie talking to a friend about an article she read. What was the topic of the article? So A, how to learn lots of languages. B, why it is good to learn languages. Or C, the best age to learn more languages. Okay, so for listening part 4, you will hear each conversation twice. Okay, so here you have 5 conversations, so you will spend time listening to each conversation twice. Right, and then you pick the answer. Okay, so the tip is, first time when you hear the conversation, just choose the answer quickly. Then you will hear the same conversation again the second time. You check your answer and see if it's the correct one. Right? If not, you make corrections quickly. You will not hear the recording again in the actual exam because they are played twice already for you. And remember the tip that I told you before, sometimes the first thing that they mention is not the answer, right? Sometimes. So don't circle the first thing you hear, right? Listen carefully to the outcome of the conversation. So if you're ready, let's listen to the
Track 16.
1. You will hear a girl called Lucy talking to her mum. What are they discussing?
I'm working a bit later than usual today, Lucy. OK, Mum, but can we have dinner before 5:30? I've got basketball practice.
But I won't finish work until 5:30.
Oh, never mind. I'll just have a snack before I go out then.
OK, you can have a proper meal when you get back.
Now listen again.
1. You will hear a girl called Lucy talking to her mum. What are they discussing?
I'm working a bit later than usual today, Lucy.
OK, Mum, but can we have dinner before 5:30? I've got basketball practice.
But I won't finish work until 5:30.
Oh, never mind. I'll just have a snack before I go out then.
OK, you can have a proper meal when you get back.
2. You will hear a girl called Sam talking to her friend about playing musical instruments. Why does she prefer the piano to the guitar?
You play the piano well, Sam.
Thanks, I like it much more than the guitar. I don't play that now. All my friends play guitar, so it seems really boring. And it's possible to play lots of different types of music on the piano. I can't yet, though. I'm still learning, but hopefully I will in the future.
Now listen again.
2. You will hear a girl called Sam talking to her friend about playing musical instruments. Why does she prefer the piano to the guitar?
You play the piano well, Sam.
Thanks, I like it much more than the guitar. I don't play that now. All my friends play guitar, so it seems really boring. And it's possible to play lots of different types of music on the piano. I can't yet, though. I'm still learning, but hopefully I will in the future.
3. You will hear a girl talking about her Chinese homework. What is she explaining?
We've got 3 exercises for our Chinese homework. One's a listening exercise, one's writing, and one's reading. I only had an hour for homework this evening, and I did the easiest one first. That, for me, is reading. I love writing Chinese, but it takes a lot of time and effort. I'll have to do that tomorrow, and I'll do the listening exercise then as well.
Now listen again.
3. You will hear a girl talking about her Chinese homework. What is she explaining?
We've got 3 exercises for our Chinese homework. One's a listening exercise, one's writing, and one's reading. I only had an hour for homework this evening, and I did the easiest one first. That, for me, is reading. I love writing Chinese, but it takes a lot of time and effort. I'll have to do that tomorrow, and I'll do the listening exercise then as well.
4. You will hear a boy talking about his English lesson today. What does he say about it?
I had to read a long text in my English lesson today, and there were lots of words in it that I didn't understand, so I couldn't answer any of the questions about it. I had to ask my teacher the meanings of the words because I didn't have my dictionary with me. We're not allowed to use the internet in class, so I couldn't look them up online.
Now listen again.
4. You will hear a boy talking about his English lesson today. What does he say about it?
I had to read a long text in my English lesson today, and there were lots of words in it that I didn't understand, so I couldn't answer any of the questions about it. I had to ask my teacher the meanings of the words because I didn't have my dictionary with me. We're not allowed to use the internet in class, so I couldn't look them up online.
5. You will hear a girl called Sophie talking to a friend about an article she read. What was the topic of the article?
Did you go to the gym at lunchtime?
No, I read an interesting article in a magazine. It was about learning languages.
Oh, yes.
Yes, a man who knows 52 languages wrote it. He was saying he thinks children should learn more languages at school because it really helps you. It makes you more intelligent.
Really?
Now listen again.
5. You will hear a girl called Sophie talking to a friend about an article she read. What was the topic of the article?
Did you go to the gym at lunchtime?
No, I read an interesting article in a magazine. It was about learning languages.
Oh, yes.
Yes, a man who knows 52 languages wrote it. He was saying he thinks children should learn more languages at school because it really helps you. It makes you more intelligent.
Really?
Okay, so now let's check our answers for listening part 4. Number 1 answer is A, when Lucy will eat this evening. Okay, so in the conversation, Lucy's mom says that she will come back home late due to work, so she wouldn't be able to cook before Lucy leaves for basketball practice. She will only cook after Lucy comes back from basketball practice. So answer is A. Number 2 answer is B. She said that there were too many people playing the guitar, so she doesn't feel that it's a fun thing to do. She doesn't stand out, so she spends more time playing the piano instead. Number 3 answer is C. Right, in her statement she says that she has only 1 hour to finish her homework, so she was only able to finish the reading exercise. Okay, and then A and B is not really relevant. She only said that she will do the listening exercise and the writing exercise the following day. Next one, number 4. Okay, his opinion was the work that he had to do was hard. Okay, A, not really. He had to borrow the dictionary from his teacher. B is not mentioned at all. Okay, in fact, his teacher helped him. He wasn't allowed to use the internet in the class, so he could not look up many of the words online. Next one, the last one, answer is B. So this girl said that she read an article about a man who knows 52 languages, and the man recommend children to learn more languages because it's good for them, it makes them more intelligent. So the answer is B. She didn't mention how to learn or the best age, right? She didn't say that, so it's B. Okay, the next one here is a text about languages and you. So this is for writing. Now we need to correct this piece of writing here and put in the capital letters where they're supposed to be. So we know capital letters are only for names of people and places and languages as well. So first one is given, my name is Caris. So C should be large, capital, big C. I am from Wales. Okay, Wales is the name of the country, so W should be big capital, right? And which is the country in the UK. So UK stands for the United Kingdom, right? So UK has to be both capital letters. And then the full name of the United Kingdom is given here, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So all this one here has to be in capital letters. U, K, and then G, B, N, okay, Northern Ireland. The UK is in Europe, okay, UK again here, must be 2 capital letters. And then Europe. Europe is a place, geographical region, so you must be in capital letter as well. Wales, right, has 2 languages. Alright, names of languages also have to be in capital letters. Welsh, English, W and E. At the beginning of each sentence, you also need to have a capital letter here. Most. Most people in Wales speak English, but many also speak Welsh. At home, I speak English because my parents are from Scotland. Alright, so capital S for Scotland is a country's name. We learn Welsh at school. Alright, and the last 2 names here are Spanish and French. I also learn Spanish and French at school. Okay, so S, F. Alright, next one is write notes about you. Don't forget to use capital letters. Alright, so this one is about you, so you can fill this one in using your details. But I will also show you a sample here. Okay, so we're going to fill in the details. I'm going to just put the text here so you can see. So this one is about me. Your answers could be different. Please put your own answers in, right? So I'm just doing a demonstration how you should write this part. So this one is, okay, it should look like this. Your name, your country and continent. Okay, so I know all of us live in Malaysia and our continent is Asia. Okay. Languages of your country. Okay, so we learn, most of us know Malay. In school, we learn English, Chinese. Okay, Chinese, you can put just Chinese to be general. Mandarin is the standard Chinese that you usually learn in school. You might speak other Chinese language or dialect at home, like Cantonese or Hokkien or Hakka or Fuchao. You can put that down. Languages you speak at home. So here, put your own. Okay, these are what I speak at home. Alright, languages you learn at school or another place. For example, you go to a language center or you go to a training educational place, institution to learn another language. Okay, so you can put that down, okay, as well. Alright, then you can use the sample from the exercise now, this one. You can use this as a model to help you, or you can write one by yourself following the instruction here. Write a paragraph using your notes from exercise 2. Write 50 to 70 words. Okay, so let's look at this one. So first you introduce yourself. Yeah. Okay, and you say where you're from. Okay, you can write just Asia, or you can use a more specific one, which is Southeast Asia. Okay, so Southeast Asia, we share that same area with Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines. Okay, those few countries, Southeast Asia. All right. It's a country in Asia. Okay, so next one, languages of your country. Okay, so in my country, we speak Malay, English, okay, Chinese. Okay, so I only mentioned 3 main ones here because it's impossible to write each and every language specifically, but we just mentioned the 3 main ones that a majority of the population knows at least 1 or 2 of these. Okay, so I here and many other languages, right? Remember in Sarawak and Sabah, we have many people, native people who speak their own language, right? Okay, next one. Languages you speak at home, right? So let's say here at home, I speak mainly English. Okay, so at home I speak mainly English and sometimes I also use Chinese or Malay. Okay, so this one is up to you how you want to word it. You can say one language that you use more often than the others, or you can just in a simple way say I speak these few languages at home. Okay, next one, languages you learn at school or another place. All right, so I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to use school. Okay, in school I learn Malay and English. Okay, so here, this is the writing that you should have. Okay, so as long as you fulfill the requirement 50 to 70 words and you use the information you have drafted out in exercise 2, then you have a correct answer here. Okay, if you want to be more specific you can do so, or you can just follow what's given here or the model answer from the previous exercise here, this one about carries. Alright, okay, so I'll just leave this on for you if you need this to write your answer. Okay, so we're done with our writing. Okay, so that's the end of workbook pages 64 to 67. Okay, so I hope this video is of help to you and you can catch up if you missed any parts, or go back to listen to the listening tracks for prepare for the exam listening part 4. Right, so thank you everyone for paying attention, and I'll see you soon in another video or class. Bye bye.